Before the Auckland Harbour Bridge opened in 1959, the only way to cross the Waitematā Harbour between Auckland and the North Shore was by passenger or vehicle ferry. The idea of a bridge was first mooted in the 1860s. During the late 1920s, the first serious plan to build a bridge was hatched, but the Great Depression put a stop to it. From the mid-1940s, the Mayor of Auckland, Sir Jack Allen, began promoting the idea of a bridge, and in 1951, the Auckland Harbour Bridge Authority was established. The bridge was originally going to have 5 traffic lanes and 2 footpaths, but for financial reasons, this was reduced to 4 traffic lanes. Tolls at each end of the bridge would pay for its construction, though tolling was finally stopped in 1984. Nearly 200 men were sent out from England to build the bridge, and they made up about half the construction team. Work began in 1955, but did not progress well because workers went on strike 9 times within the first year, mainly over wages. There were no harnesses or other safety equipment for the workers. Men simply dangled from cranes and clung to the ends of girders as the bridge was built.
Few jobs could be more risky than that of a steel erector, but the men take things in their stride. They climb the ladders up the posts swiftly and nimbly, and walk to and fro along their narrow ledges as comfortably and casually as though they were walking along a street.
The bridge consists of 7 spans set on 6 concrete piers. The bridge's coat hanger design allows ships to pass underneath, but during construction the height above the water of the structure posed a major problem with putting the spans in place. To solve it, the large 3rd span was built on top of one of the smaller spans, then floated down into place on a decreasing tide. The manoeuvre was known as Operation Pick-a-Back. Working on the concrete piers over 30 metres below sea level was dangerous work, with some bridge workers suffering the bends or decompression sickness. It is remarkable that the 3 deaths at the construction site did not happen until 1959, when the bridge was nearly complete. The Auckland Harbour Bridge finally opened in 1959. It was over 1 kilometre long, contained nearly 6,000 tonnes of steel, over 17,000 cubic metres of concrete, and 7,000 litres of paint. In the first months, over 1 million cars crossed the bridge, and the congestion made it immediately obvious that the bridge was not wide enough. In the late 1960s, less than a decade after the bridge opened, 2 dual-lane additions were prefabricated in Japan, then attached to the bridge. These became known as the Nippon Clip-Ons. Despite the clip-ons and other measures to improve traffic flow, congestion is still a major problem on the bridge. There have been recent studies looking at light rail using the bridge and alternative routes across the harbour, including tunnelling under it. But for now, the Auckland Harbour Bridge remains the most popular way for Aucklanders to get from one side of the Waitematā Harbour to the other.